Hi guys and welcome back. The first thing I want to say is that I apologize for my hair because it's a motherfucking disaster. I could do nothing with it today. It has so much dry shampoo and hairspray in it that it's living its own life and I can't control it and it's bad. I'm going to have to resort to a messy bun or all of this is probably gonna have to go in a hat because I'm actually going out tonight and there's no way I can wear my hair like this. No way. So let's just get past the crazy hair. And I kind of want to do a get ready with me today, catch you guys up on everything I kind of went through with my surgery and how I'm doing now and what I need to do for the future to keep those kidney stones away. So if you want to sit down, do your makeup, chit chat with me, then keep on watching. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to talk about the products I'm using. I will list them all down below. I am going out. Like I said, we are going bowling with a couple friends. This is Chris's birthday weekend. So he wanted to do something. We were originally planning on going to the casino, but we just kind of weren't feeling it. And when you go to the casino, you basically have to go with the mindset that you're going to lose money. You can't go in thinking that you're going to win money. You just have to say, okay, if I'm gambling 50 bucks, 100 bucks, whatever you're taking a gamble with, you have to assume you're going to lose it. So right now, with the amount of work that I've missed, he is fixing and renovating one of the rental properties in order to sell it. So dropping a lot of money on the rental. It just doesn't seem like the most perfect time right now. And Christmas, the fact that it's Christmas, doesn't seem like the most perfect time to lose money. So yeah, I think we're just like, you know what, let's just go bowling. Bowling sounds like a fantastic idea. We actually were on a bowling league. We've been on a bowling league now for, I would say, over 10 years. But this is the first year that we couldn't because my stepdad had to get knee surgery. So we just had to kind of not do it this year, which is okay. I actually don't miss it that much, which is weird considering we've bowled so many years. But I really don't miss it. So first and foremost, my surgery went great. They ended up finding, it happened to be 2 stones. So if you don't know, I had kidney stones. I had gotten one surgery October 31st to remove the one that got stuck in my ureter. And then my next surgery was December 5th. And they thought it was a 16 millimeter stone, but it happened to be 2 stones basically right there together. And yeah, surgery went great. So the day before my surgery, I ended up having to go in for what I thought was a catheter, which when I think of a catheter, I think of one that goes up your ureter, and that's what you pee out of, and that's the kind of catheter I thought I was getting. In reality, it was a surgical catheter that they go in through your back and it's placed into the kidney, down to the bladder, into the bladder. And that's actually the hole that they go in to remove the stones and laser the stones and break it up and suck the fragments out. So you can only imagine my face. I think my jaw dropped to the floor when they told me that was the catheter I was getting, and I got sent home with this. So I had this tube sticking out of my back only for a day. It was pretty uncomfortable, but I was able to deal with it, so it wasn't too bad. But Chris and I were shocked, like, wait, what am I getting? So they didn't explain that to me from the get-go. They just said you're getting a catheter placed. But yeah, so that was weird. So then I go in for the surgery the next day. Everything went well. When I woke up in recovery, that's when I had a normal catheter. So I've never had one before, so I was a little shocked, like, oh my. And what was kind of funny is they were just pumping fluid through my IV. It was just like, the amount of fluid they were pumping through me was insanity. But I will say that if I didn't have that catheter, I would probably be getting up to go to the bathroom every freaking 5 minutes. But I'm sure that's why they're pumping that much fluid through, is because you won't have to get up every 5 minutes, because technically you're just going and not even knowing it. So literally, as it was going in, it was literally coming out in the bag. It was insane. I ended up staying overnight because they want to make sure with my cystic fibrosis and all of that everything is good to go. My breathing was good, like my oxygen levels, and they took the catheter out the next morning. But what was really weird is because I did have that drainage tube in my back when I woke up. So it wasn't the surgical catheter. They took the surgical catheter out during surgery. I just had what they were calling it, a draining tube. So I had this little tube in my back, and it got very saturated the next morning. I got up. I was able to get up, go to the bathroom. I just had to carry my little pee bag with me. It really is more like a blood bag, which is really gross, probably to some of you, but I was just urinating so much blood, so it didn't even look like pee. It just looked like blood. So I was able to get up and kind of put myself together the next morning, brush my teeth and fix my hair, things like that. And I started kind of cleaning up my room a little bit. I'm weird. I like to have a nice room. I don't know. I was getting dressed and, just trying to feel a little normal. I felt better. And my freaking back, I had a huge, big gauze taped to my back, and then like a Tegaderm thing taped onto it. So, next thing I know, I feel like this wetness on my back, and I feel my back, and it's literally leaking down my back. So I grab the closest towel to me. I'm holding it. I call my nurse, and I'm like, my bandage is saturated. And she came in and changed it, but she had told me, she's like, okay, you are doing way too much. I need you to just stay in the bed. And I'm like, okay. So I was basically in trouble, and I had to stay bedridden, but it was all right. She removed the catheter a little bit later, which that was easy. I was nervous at first, thinking that it might hurt, but it was quick and not bad at all to get that removed. And then later on, before I was getting discharged, the urology on call, whoever the urology guy was on call, came in and removed the tube. Now that was weird, because the tube literally went through my back, I think either through my bladder, through my kidney, but anyway, down into my ureter. So when he removed it from my back, I felt it, because at first I'm like, is this going to hurt? He's like, no, it's just going to be a really weird feeling. That's the only way I can really explain it. And so I was like, okay. And basically now I get it. What he meant by that was, I felt it as he's pulling it out, coming out of my ureter, like literally up my ureter and out of my back. that is the best way to describe it, is the fact that it doesn't hurt, that it's just a really weird feeling. And that's how it was to a T. Probably one of the most weirdest feeling things I've ever felt in my life. Hey guys, so I've been off camera for a little bit. I got an Amazon delivery. So I just decided to go ahead and do my liner and put my lashes on and put my brows on. I'm probably gonna have to fix my brows once I get everything else on, but I kind of wanted to get a head start. I do want to talk about this eyeliner. I mentioned it in my last video when I used my Maybelline Dream Radiant liquid foundation, which I'm going to use today as well. This eyeliner, okay, so let me back up a little bit. I am not a winged liner girl. I say it all the time. I suck at winged liner. I don't know. I think it's my eye shape. I just never like how it turns out, so I don't even try and waste my time doing it. But for some reason, this new Maybelline eyeliner, it's called the Hypereasy eyeliner. And for some reason, I feel more confident doing a liner. I've been doing a liner more. I wanted to attempt a wing liner, and I did not have to spend an hour trying to make them even. And I mean, I think it looks good for me doing it because it usually turns into a damn mess. The amount of time that I usually spend trying to fix my wing liner is just dumb, just so dumb. But this eyeliner is seriously making it so easy for me to do it. And the other eyeliner that I used to feel the same way about is the Fenty Beauty Liner, but mine dried out so quickly. It was really weird. So I have not used that liner, which is kind of sad because the amount of money I spent on it, I don't know, but it just dried out super quickly on me. So I didn't leave the cap off or anything like that. So I don't know what that was about. I need to get a mattifying primer. Hold on one second. So anyway, that's what I did off camera for about 20 minutes, doing my brows, my lashes, and my eyeliner. So anyway, back to my story. I had gotten discharged last Friday, so not this past Friday, the Friday before, on the 6th, and went home. Everything was fine. I felt fine. I was looking forward to just recovering at home and getting back to my normal life that's just been completely interrupted the past couple months. So the next day, so last Saturday, which would be the 14th, I think. Yeah, the 14th. 7th. Jeez, I can't get my dates right. Today's the 14th. So last Saturday, about early afternoon, I started running, like I got really, really cold. So the night before I went to bed around 11, I got really bad chills. And I didn't even think about it. I was so tired, I just went to bed. I was freezing, but I just went to bed. And then Saturday, early afternoon, I started getting the chills again. And what I've been doing is I was doing Tylenol for pain every 6 hours. So when I did get up Saturday morning, around 6, my Tylenol was due. So I just popped my Tylenol. And I didn't wake up with the chills or anything, but then for some reason I started getting the chills again early Saturday morning, or Saturday early morning, and that's when I had a fever. So I'm like, shit, I know I'm supposed to call the office if I have a fever, but of course it's Saturday, they are closed. So the only thing I could think of doing is crap, my Mario Badescu's up there. Hold on. So the only thing I could really do when I looked at my paper is decide to go to the ER. If I had a fever, I was assuming I had an infection. So lucky me, I decided to go to the ER, which sucked because, I mean, it's just that wonderful time of year where everybody's going to the ER thinking they're having the flu, you know? So we literally wait in the ER for almost 3 hours. It was almost 3 hours by the time I got in. I wear a mask when I go to the ER. So they know I have cystic fibrosis. So when I check in, I make sure to tell them I have cystic fibrosis. And then, of course, you know, they ask me what brought me in, and I told them. And they're like, we want to try and hurry up and get you in. And we want to get you a room with a door. And I'm like, cool, sounds great, you know? So Chris and I go and sit way back in the back of the ER, away from everybody, just because, you know, the risk of catching something. He even wore a mask. You know, when we got there, the people in front of us, there's a lady in front of us. She like collapses and almost falls on me. And they had to like get a wheelchair or whatever. But anyway, like it was exciting. Right when we walked in the door, I'm like, oh my God. But it was pretty busy. So I'm like, shit, we're going to be here a while, you know? Which is typically how it is in an ER. And I know that. They had told me, actually, one of the nurses, they came and, or they called me up to just get like my blood pressure and to get my vitals. And she said one of her best friend actually has cystic fibrosis. So she wanted to make sure to hurry up and get me out of the waiting room, which I really appreciated. But the thing was, finally, after almost 3 hours, I go back up there and I overheard somebody say something like, well, she has cystic fibrosis and somebody gave her room away an hour and a half ago. So I'm like, what the dude? So I went up there and I was like, you know what, at this point, because you gotta think about it. I had just had surgery not even 2 days ago, not even 48 hours prior. And I'm having to sit out there in this waiting room in this weird ass chair that was killing my back. And I was so uncomfortable and a little bit of pain, you know what I mean? So I was ready to just lay on my side, which was the most comfortable way for me to feel better. So I went up to the girl and I said, at this point, I don't care if my room has a door or not. And so she's like, okay, yeah, we're working on it. So within, I would say, a half hour, they finally got me back in there, or they back in the back. The thing was, my temperature kept rising. So I think the highest that my temperature got was 102.4. So then it got to a point I was just burning up. I was so hot. They brought me a fan. They started me on IV antibiotics while I was back there. They just assumed, as anybody would, that it was some kind of infection. So I was pretty bummed out because I was like, I don't even know how long I'm going to be in here. So of course they took urine and numerous blood draws over the next couple of days. I started to feel better the next day, really. Obviously I was getting very hydrated because they were giving me fluids. Turns out that apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently the body can have a reaction to trauma and surgery by giving off fevers, even if you don't have an infection. I've never heard of that in my life. That was something new I had learned. But even I would say I had like a 5-day email. So what our hospital has is it's called My Chart, and we can receive our results of our test or whatever we got done through My Chart. So we see it just as quickly as the doctors do. I had received something even a couple days ago stating that I didn't have anything, no infections growing or anything like that. So that was definitely nice to see because I was a little bit worried about it. Oh, my conch piercing or my conch piercing, however you like to pronounce it. It has been healed. I feel like it's been healed for months and months. I got it back in February, but I really feel like it's been totally healed within the past 3 or 4 months. I guess something happened during surgery and I didn't even know it. That maybe I laid on it wrong or they laid me on it wrong or something and caused some kind of blister. Because the other day when I was in the bathroom washing my face, I scratched my ear and just because it itched, next thing I know, when I opened my eyes, I had blood all up in my ear. So I was like, what the hell? And I look and I guess I had scratched like a blister basically. So that was weird. So now I have like this blister on my conch piercing and I'm like, what the hell? So that was weird. So the other night we had to put our fish down. We've had a beta fish, I would say over a year, and he had ended up getting dropsy, which is just a condition that fish can get, and he would sink to the bottom of the tank and his belly got super big. He just wasn't doing well at all, and I could just tell he was suffering. He was struggling, I guess, with betta fish. They actually have to get air, which you wouldn't think that's the case considering it being a fish, but he would have to shoot to the top to get air, and he was struggling on Thursday to make it to the top, and he would just be at the bottom of the tank, like on his side. I mean, it was bad. And I'm like, no creature of any kind should have to live like this. So we were looking up the most humane way to put a fish down, but it was still really sad. And I know it's a fish, but that kind of stuff really makes me sad. I've been watching a lot of Harush lately. She is hilarious. One of her biggest things that stuck with me was to let your concealer dry down a little bit, like you were to let eyelash glue dry down a little bit. And I've been doing that lately and it's making a huge difference. I would do it sometimes, but a majority of the time I think I would just go ahead and go in and start blending, probably just like a lot of us would. I've been being more patient and letting it dry down a little bit, and I think it's making a difference for sure. Oh, I don't know yet. I'm hoping it happens, but my cousin Ripley might be coming up for Christmas, so we're definitely going to have to film a video. I wanted to do the tiny hand challenge with her. Ever since I've seen people do that, I'm like, oh Lord, that would be hilarious to do with her. So I'm considering ordering the tiny hands to do the challenge, but it would be even more funny if we did it drunk. So we just need to do another drunk video like we did with the one Get Ready With Me before my brother's wedding. Or I'm sorry, wedding rehearsal dinner. That's what it was, when we got really drunk. Oh, that was crazy. If you guys have any requests for us to do, let me know, because I want to do something really fun with her. I love doing challenge videos with her, because she's hilarious. So I can't wait for her. Hopefully it works out with her job and her work, because I haven't seen her. I haven't physically seen her. We video chat all the time, but I haven't physically seen her in a long time. Oh, it's so weird being pale. I have not self-tanned because I knew I was getting surgery. So I was like, what's the use in self-tanning, you know? It's weird seeing me so pale, but I'm trying to embrace it. I'm trying to just get back in with it, even though it's weird. But in the winter, I don't really mind it as much as I do in the summer. In the summer, I want to be a glowing tan goddess, you know what I mean? In the winter, I'm like, oh, whatever. I can be pale. Nobody would think twice, you know? I think I finally figured out what it was with this Milani bronzer. I'm pretty sure I bought this when I was pale, when I didn't have any self-tan, and loved it. You know, first couple times I used it. I think what it is it doesn't look as good on me when I have a tan. I think that's what I've come to the conclusion with, because I used it yesterday, loved it. So I figured I would use it again today. It's a great bronzer. So I think what it is, this is the shade 03. It just gives me enough color, which is nice. But I don't know. I think that's what it is that I like it when I don't have a self-tanner on. When I don't what? I like it when I'm not self-tanned. So back to my story. That's basically all for my story, really. I wanted to talk about how to prevent them, because I didn't know this, but apparently with cystic fibrosis, we have a 50% chance of getting them more than the average person, which I found very odd. And I would like to believe it's because the amount of salt that we take in, because cystic fibrosis has to do with a faulty gene, basically with salt. And I'm trying to make a long story short. And anyway, we're supposed to have a lot of salt because we lose a lot of salt. So we have a very high sodium diet, which does not affect us like it does a normal person. What I think is going on is that the Vertex, the new cystic fibrosis drug, it's the closest thing to a cure that's out there. I've been in the study for, now it's been almost 3 years, I think. Finally got FDA approved and out on the market, and CFers are getting it, which I can talk about now. I used to not be able to talk about it because it wasn't FDA approved. So I signed a contract and everything stating that I can't talk about this drug because it wasn't FDA approved. Well, now that it's FDA approved and out on the market, I'm allowed to talk about it. So what I think is happening is that it's correcting the gene, and our body is able to basically get the correct nutrients now, but we're taking in that salt just like any other normal person would. And I honestly think that's what caused my kidney stones. Obviously, there's no evidence proving this point. This is just what I think. I've never had kidney stones before, and honestly, I've always had kind of a bad diet. So it's just, that was my thought process with it. And honestly, my mom thought the same thing. My husband thinks the same thing. So we'll see. I'm really curious to know if any other CFers have normal issues now that they're going to be on it, like normal, like issues as in somebody that doesn't have cystic fibrosis, you know, that we're actually going to have to watch our cholesterol, our salt intake, our meat intake, just kind of watch what we got to do just like a normal person. So yeah, I'm really curious how that's going to work. And also what's crazy is they've already seen a rise in pregnancies with cystic fibrosis. So just like any, you know, mucous membranes run throughout your body, which that includes your reproductive area as well. And what happens is a lot of times the sperm cannot get through the thick, sticky mucus. So it's much harder for someone with cystic fibrosis, not all of us, but it's a lot harder for someone with CF to get pregnant. And they are noticing that a lot of women are getting pregnant. So that's the other thing, is that it's doing great things for those who thought they couldn't get pregnant. So that's really cool. When I heard that, I just heard this on Wednesday when I had my Vertex study visit. Geez, I can't do my makeup and talk apparently. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh my God, I gotta talk about this. I gotta talk about this. I got the Jaclyn Cosmetics Flash Palette. I also got, it's back there, you can't see it, but let me get it. Okay, back to the highlight. I also got the Beaming highlight, or the Beaming Loose Powder in Extra. Y'all, these highlights are insane. I've never, ever, I mean, they're my favorite highlights. I can't even freaking lie. So Extra is like this white, I hope I can pick it up, dude. It's crazy. Like this white, goldish white it's just freaking beauty. I might use that today. It's more on the whiter side, which I like. I used in my last video Gleam on my, where I usually highlight on my face, and then I used Iced on the inner third of my eye in my last video. God, guys, oh my God, it is insanity. So today I think I'm gonna use Extra. Oops, that's a lot. I'm gonna regret that. But would I though? So I did not get the brushes, and one of my favorite subscribers, she said the brush makes it, so I might go back and get the brush. But again, I'm taking the Beaming highlight just a little bit. I'm literally like tapping this off. I'm using the Anastasia. This is the brush I always use. It's totally rubbed off, but I think this is like the A23 or something. All right, y'all. You ready? You ready? You ready? Oh my God, and that's the most smallest, littlest amount. Oh my God. She nailed it. I don't care what anybody says. I know people are still freaking trying to be whatever about her. That's fine. Leave all the highlight to me. Give it to me. You guys use something else. Who cares? Because this is just drop. She just freaking killed it. She nailed it. She killed it. She dropped the mother effing mic with these. Seriously, they are banging. Get the bowling alley. People will be like, what the hell? This bitch's face. I can't stop putting it on. I just get so excited. Let's tone it down a little bit. Just a little bit. My friends are gonna be like, what the f is up with her face? Why is she so shiny? I don't think I finished my story about my diet. But they told me I should cut down on salt and meat because those are the two common things that cause kidney stones. So I have really cut back on salt, and I don't add any extra salt when I cook. If I use anything, like, which is very, like, I have not been using canned goods or anything like that, no frozen foods. I do not try and shop or get many processed foods, so I've cut down on all that. All I drink is water and coffee. I drink half decaf and half regular coffee. So that was the other thing. They said caffeine. I don't know if that's true or not, but I figured anything that helps, I'm going to do that. And then I'll save my meat for one meal of the day, which is usually dinner. So I've been eating a lot of Beyond, not a lot. I'll eat Beyond burgers, which is I've never had before, and they are so good. They're plant-based burgers. They're awesome. And I've been eating a lot of cauliflower. Like, I'll do cauliflower tacos. veggie stir fry. I'll just do a veggie pizza. I'll do a lot of different things. I get really low sodium pizza sauce, which there's one at my store that I get. It's a little more on the pricey side, but it is bomb. I love that pizza sauce. Where is my setting spray? So there's just a lot of things I'm doing different and making a lifestyle change, and it was rough in the beginning, but now I'm so used to it. I actually don't mind eating a little bit healthier, especially if it makes me not have kidney stones and to have to go through all this again. So all in all, I'm doing great, much better. I went back to work on Thursday, and I just kind of wanted to give you guys an update. So that's my update. So here is the final look, guys. Well, on camera, I'm gonna have to do something with this damn hair. But I am out of my Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know. I might have to do my old school trick where I would take a spoolie and spray some hairspray on it. And that's how I would set my brows. That was my old school trick. And I might be having to come back to life tonight because these brows need to be tamed because they're a lot. Man, my makeup looks good. Ooh, I just scared my dog when I clapped. Sorry. Oh, so beautiful. I think it even looks better than it did when I did my review on this foundation. Bomb foundation. Love this foundation. I'm noticing me letting my concealer dry down more, that it does not crease as much. It sets more beautifully. Looks good. I can't speak. I just want to put more of that highlighter on, but I need to stop because I'm going to look like a dumb shit when I'm at bowling looking like a glistening disco ball. So I'm going to calm my tits on that. This eyeliner, man. I love this eyeliner. So if you're looking for a new drugstore eyeliner, I would highly, highly, highly recommend this eyeliner. And obviously I would highly, highly, highly recommend these highlighters. I've had a long, crazy, wild journey the past couple of months. You guys are awesome. You guys are what keep me positive and keep me going and keep me inspired. So I just am so thankful for each and every one of you, especially when you go above and beyond to even comment on my videos or on a post in my community tab. It means the absolute world to me. I screenshot them. I screenshot certain comments just to have so I can look back at them and just to put a smile on my face and keep me positive when I am just bummed out and down. So thank you guys again. I hope you like this look. I hope you like this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next one. Thanks for watching.